Hey guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over some car salesman tips. And once again, it's another segment of Ask Anthony where I have real salespeople inbox me questions. I don't see them beforehand. This is organic. It's not scripted. I read them live with you and then give you guys some answers. So let's go back to the inbox. This is from Eric. Eric's one of the salespeople that works for my dad, who's also a sales manager. Eric gave us a question before. Here's another question from Eric. Anthony, I have some good questions I think would be the most common we hear day in and day out. This is question number 2 that Eric had sent me, and it says, this is my first stop. Okay, so kind of depends on when the customer says it. This is my first stop. So if they say it on the lot, just understand that it's defense mechanism, right? It's their way of saying, don't be pushy. Don't try to sell me. I'm just here looking. This is my first stop, right? So they're saying that. They're also planting seeds for you. They're planting seeds that they're going to go other places. So when or if we go inside, if and when we go inside and start working out numbers, make sure you give me your best shot because this is my first stop. I'm going to shop you, right? So just know that on the lot, it's their way of just kind of putting that wall up, and they don't want you to press them. They don't want you to push them, right? So, and you could say a little corny things like, totally get it. And hey, listen, if I do my job, this will be your last stop, right? If I do my job, Eric, this will be your last stop. And you start laughing with them. I do that once in a while just to gauge them, gauge their seriousness, gauge to see if I can joke around with them. I get a feel for their energy, right? So Eric, totally understand. Hey, listen, if I do my job right, this will be your last stop, right? Let me ask you this. The Honda Accord over there, do you like the gray or the black, right? So I'll address and then redirect. One of my favorite techniques. You'll hear it in almost every video that I overcome objections. I address and redirect. Address whatever it is they say. Redirect back to what you want to talk about. We'll go over that in a bunch of videos. But yeah, this is my first stop. Okay, that's one of the plays they have in their playbook, right? They're just trying not to be sold. Now, if you're inside and you've began negotiating, so then we got to find out, like, why are they saying that? And I always say there's a big difference between excuses and objections. It's one of those things where when we talk about, whether or not it's an objection, to me, it's guilty until proven innocent. It's an excuse until proven that it's a real objection. In most cases, they're making an excuse, and what they're doing is there's something about the deal, there's something about the vehicle or the numbers that isn't perfect, and they don't really know how to communicate that with you, or they're being a little secretive about something because they're not trained. They don't really know how to do this. They got a few plays in their playbook, and they don't really know how to communicate that something's not right. And it actually could be sometimes that you've built so much rapport it works against you. They feel bad that maybe they've wasted your time, that they're looking at a vehicle that's too expensive, or that an option that you offer them earlier after they've processed it actually may be better for them, but they're kind of out of time. They don't know where we're at in the deal. They don't think it's even possible for us to get there, or maybe they do want the one with the sunroof, but the one without the sunroof, they can't even afford that, not knowing that we're holding a bunch of gross. So these things happen. A lot of times they're excuses. So they might say, you know what, Eric, it's our first day out, we're just going to look around a little bit. And that's where I kind of dive in and I start to peel back the layers of the onion. And I'm going to ask them straight up, Eric, let me ask you this. I'm sure, you said to yourself coming into the dealership today that in a perfect world, if every box was checked, I would leave in a new vehicle, right? And the only reason why you wouldn't leave in a new vehicle is if one or two things wasn't right. One, if you didn't love the car, or two, the numbers didn't make sense. There's actually a third. There's a third, and that would be if they don't like the salesperson, right? So there's something about the deal that's not right. And I'm going to ask them straight up. Let me ask you this. What would stop you from having to go to another place, right? Is it something about the vehicle that you don't love? Is there something missing in the car? Is maybe it the wrong color, or is there equipment that after digesting a little bit, you realize you don't need, and maybe you're paying for it and you don't really want it? Let me ask you this, Eric. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, how would you rate the vehicle? And if they see anything less than 10, you're going to then say to them, all right, well, let me ask you this. What would make it a 10? What would make it a 10? Or if you ask them, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the vehicle? And they say 10, you would say, okay, well, let me ask you this then. The numbers, do the numbers work for you? Do the numbers make sense to you? Yeah, they make sense to me. Are they perfect? Does it fit your budget, or are they a little too high? I'll ask them, are they a little too high? They're probably going to say, yeah, they're a little too high, right? So there's your unspoken objection. And if they're unspoken objections, they're the most dangerous kind because we don't know how to overcome them. So let's just put all the cards on the table here. If you're negotiating, put all the cards on the table. Who cares? Who cares about giving up some gross now? Because I'd rather have 70% of something than 100% of nothing. What are you gonna leave them out at those numbers and not know where you're at in the deal, how far away you are from making a deal, and they leave anyway? Who cares, right? So I'm going to say, Eric, are the numbers too high for you? Tell me. Be honest with me. If they're too high for you, at least I know that's the bridge we have to cross, right? That's the problem we have to solve. Yeah, Ant, they're a little too high for me. Okay, let me ask you this. When you say they're too high, do you mean the down payment or monthly payment? Now I'm going to isolate. I mean the down payment. Oh, the down payment's a little too high. Then I go grab a commitment at the monthly payment. If they say the down payment's too high, then it's okay, great. But the $775, you could do that, right? That's comfortable for you? Yeah, I could swing it. No. I don't want to not swing it. Is it comfortable for you, Eric? Because if it's not comfortable for you, then I didn't do my job. Then if we can't find a way to make the numbers work, I didn't do my job. Now you're showing you're on their side, right? Well, yeah, the $775 is a little too high. So now I know down payment's too high, monthly payment's too high. So then I got to dig in and I got to sharpen my pencil a little bit and I got to be creative, find ways to accomplish what they're looking to accomplish. But we're a lot further along the sales funnel than we were 5 minutes ago when they said it's just their first stop, right? That was just an excuse. That wasn't the real objection. They didn't have to go anywhere else. It's that what we offered them wasn't perfect. So be mindful. There's two ways to play it. On the lot, this is my first stop, is their way of saying, don't try to sell me, don't try to push me. And hey, if we go inside and work out some numbers, make sure your pencil's sharp because I'm going other places. I'm going to shop you. If it's inside, there's an unspoken objection. They don't really know how to communicate it. In most cases, if the vehicle's perfect for them, right, and the numbers make sense, then what's stopping them? And if it's the vehicle, let's say they said to them, they're looking at a Honda Accord and they say, you know what, I want to go take a peek at the Nissan Altima. Well, I'm going to ask them, well, Eric, let me ask you this. Is there something you're hoping the Altima has that the Accord doesn't? Like, does the Accord check all of the boxes? And in most cases, they're going to say, no, the Accord's got everything. Okay, so then I know it's probably the numbers, right? Now, sometimes they may just want to look at the other car. That's when you really got to get creative and try to blow them away with a deal. In today's market, a little bit different. It's not like it was a few years back where you can really knock their socks off with a deal that's just so good and too good to be true. So it does get a little tricky, but 80% of the time, it's my first day out, is just their way of saying either A, don't be pushy on the lot, or B, there's an unspoken objection that you need to uncover and then isolate so you can overcome it. There may be a few of them. Just do one at a time. If it's the vehicle, make sure you're in the right car, right? If it's the down payment, we'll work on that. If it's the monthly payment, we'll work on that. It might be the mileage on the lease. It could be a number of things, but in most cases, it's an excuse and not an objection. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching. And if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.